again, this is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands. Happy Friday and welcome to Senior Solutions with your Heiar Insurance team. This is the time every Friday we get together to help you with those big things when it comes to planning properly for retirement, when it comes to knowing the ins and outs of Medicare. You know, you can only learn so much from that fancy book, Medicare and Me, or
Yes.
Me and Medicare. Matt Heiar back with us today in the Summerland Furniture Studio and the Daily Dodge TV studio. We are also streaming live at dailydodge.com, so check the show out there and know that you can ring us up at any point with your questions. 885-4446 is the studio line, 885-4446. And Charlie Dern producing for us in the on-air studio, and happy to keep an eye on those text messages for us at 887-9595. Welcome back to your show, Senior Solutions, Matt Heiar. I missed you last week.
Yes, it's good to be back.
Oh my goodness, how's your Friday so far?
It's good. I mean, with this weather, it's like, how can you be frowning right now?
I know, it is a perfect day, and I've been telling folks this morning, this is really going to be a repeat of the next few days. A little bit of rain maybe tomorrow afternoon, late in the day, early in the evening, but wow, sunshine and 70. We've waited a long time for this.
I think we were spoiled early in April when we had that 80-degree day, but I mean, I'll take it.
Oh my goodness, every time. And I know that I tell you often off air how put together you are. You're just like your mom, Sandy Heiar, in that aspect. So people should really just go to the stream at dailydodge.com. Matt has a fabulous outfit on today. You don't want to miss.
Yeah, I picked it out last night.
Oh my goodness. We really appreciated and enjoyed having Carrie and Craig Caston with us last week on Senior Solutions. Craig, as you know, is quite an expert when it comes to cybersecurity. So thank you for lining him up to be a guest on Senior Solutions. It was a really great conversation and a lot of great takeaways for people regarding keeping their stuff safe, because that's a big deal. It's hard to do these days. The scams keep getting more and more sophisticated. And you always chuckle a little bit when I talk about having my AARP card, but now I get the cool magazine. Brooke Shields is on the cover of the new issue. And then I also get this fancy newsletter bulletin. And on the cover of the new newsletter bulletin, it's 2024, the biggest scams. And there are a lot of scams out there for folks to be aware of, because it's kind of easy to get lured in, and then before you know it, they've got your Medicare number, or all of a sudden you've got a case of neck braces arriving on your front porch. There are a lot of different things that people need to be aware of when it comes to scamming. And your group, the folks that you're helping, a lot of them fall into that category of being vulnerable.
Absolutely. And that's where we preach education, when we get onto Medicare, because everyone gets their Medicare number, and it's their red, white, and blue card, but we have to cherish it almost like it's our Social Security number.
And when do folks get that fancy red, white, and blue card? When can we expect those in the mail?
Well, you're eligible for it at 65.
Okay.
If you're collecting Social Security, then you're going to get it mailed to you 90 days prior. The government will automatically sign you up. Or else, if you are still working, or something like that, then you do not have to sign up for Medicare, depending on how large your employer is and how many people are on the group health plan. So yes, so to give that answer, it's a little tough, but but that's the main thing is, we want to make sure that you cherish that, because we've been having calls all week. The latest one we just got was they're calling and saying, "Did you get your laminated Medicare card?"
Oh.
And Medicare, well, it's the government. They do not laminate your card. You get a paper card.
Do they call to follow up to see if you got your card?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay. No. So red flag.
Yep.
Hang up.
Yep. And then I just had a client this morning telling me that they're like, "Oh yeah, we just want to know your effective dates." Like maybe they already had the number and they needed, the rest of it just to finish a transaction or something.
Would the government already know that?
The government would absolutely know that. So that's why it's scary, and we just want to make sure that, you're not going to get a laminated card. The government, once you're on Medicare, you're on Medicare. Okay. They don't change it. You're not getting new numbers. And another scam is they're talking about changes in Medicare. I mean, that would be huge. That would be front page news, and we'd all be knowing about it.
They're not going to call people individually with this Medicare update.
Right. And typically it'd be, starting a new year. but
Okay.
for some reason they are very persistent, and they can make it seem great. They could fake like they're a doctor, medical provider, but that's where it's really difficult because they're really good at what they do.
Sure, professional scammers.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it'd be really crucial because Craig is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to anything technical technology. It's Friday.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah,
It's
but
a lot of syllables there.
Well, and just if my computer, if technology is great when it works,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
But once it doesn't work, it's like
Very frustrating.
I call Craig.
A lot of people do
Yes.
throughout Beaver Dam and Dodge County. He's kind of the fixer.
Oh yes, Carrie has him on speed dial for us. So, but no, he just works with things, and he just always tells me something, and it's scary. He's like, if there's a microphone or a camera, he's like, people could be watching that. That's scary.
Yeah, it is. It's unnerving.
Yes, and even it's so simple. Like all you got to do is click into an email, and they can get into your computer. So that's why if it's too good to be true, it usually is. If it's something about the solicitation of insurance, which they're getting really good at, they're making it look, it says Dodge County, you're missing your benefits. And that looks official. You're like, oh, well, what am
I missing?
Absolutely.
Let's look at this immediately.
Yep. And then fine print we're always looking at fine print because typically they have to say by law that they are not part of Medicare or Social Security or the U.S. government.
Is that in teeny tiny print?
Tiny. Yes. So it's really frustrating because, at the end of the day, it's sales, and that's why some people are really good at these marketing companies, obviously, are huge. And that's why I call you a celebrity, because when you turn 64 years old, they find you, you're getting phone calls, and we just want to make sure that, it's what is best for you. This is something like I'm old school like this, but for insurance like this, when you're going to use it, we always had HR we'd go to and we'd talk to them, ask questions about our health insurance. Well, we will use this insurance, statistically way more than, homeowners or auto insurance. And yes, if you have a question, you want to talk to the person that you took it out with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want to make sure they're there, and you want to make sure you get answers.
Yeah, and not just be a number.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that Heiar Insurance helps people with? For those folks listening, this might be their first time hearing the show, Senior Solutions. And
What? The first time?
and hearing about Heiar Insurance, because you do help folks with many different things.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just talked about the journey of Medicare.
Yeah, it's magical.
Yep. We assist people in signing up for Social Security just at our office. We also help people with retirement planning, in income plans, in 401k rollovers, funeral trusts, life insurance,
Long-term care insurance.
long-term care, absolutely. And we check off those boxes. We just kind of go down the line and we evaluate everything, like big picture. And that's essentially what we do. And then we talk about estate planning. And if we want to move forward with that, we bring Rob into the picture.
Rob Mielek from Mielek Law joins us the third Monday of every month, and who also, invited us along for the fun for the Milwaukee baseball trip a couple weeks ago.
Which we won.
Yes. Took a long time, though. Nothing really happened until the end of that game.
Yeah, it was like watching paint dry, but we won.
So, yes, and he is the go-to person when it comes to estate planning. That's
Absolutely.
his area of expertise.
Yep, and then I have other members of my team that help with the retirement planning, different strategies. We have our product guy Jorge.
Oh my goodness, we have to have Jorge come back on the show and join us. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love listening to his voice.
I
And
know.
yours too, of course,
Oh,
Matt.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's why you missed me last week.
I did. I really did.
No, but it's just it's really cool to have a team behind you, and know that we educate you and we want to make sure that you're getting the product and you know what it is and what are the benefits and why you chose this over something else. And that's the biggest thing with this, all these misconceptions where they're told this, well, I get over the counter items, I get a gym membership, and it's really about the health insurance, same with your retirement plans, you might be able to do it. You don't like hearing that.
No.
You want the peace of mind, and that's essentially what we try to bring to you.
Yeah, just the reality of what you're living in. Our MVP Jill is back at the Heiar Insurance office, which is located in the Heritage Mall in Beaver Dam, right there by Joann Fabrics. What is the number that folks can call and have MVP Jill set that appointment, whether it's something that they want to take a look at, like existing coverage, or just start from the very beginning?
Yes, absolutely. It's complimentary consultations. That's people always ask me, like, what do I owe you? Or, how do you get paid? And we can't retire on every person we meet. We got to evaluate it and kind of break it down first. Step one, step by step. But yes, you can give us a call absolutely at 920-887-0580.
And when it comes to plans that are already in place for someone, it's always a good idea just to have a refresher, look what is currently in place, and then figure out what might need to change, like when an enrollment period opens up.
Absolutely. And that's why, yes, typically October 15th to December 7th, that's our enrollment period for Medicare. And then the Affordable Care Act for people under 65 is November 1st to December 15th. And yes, that's a time to review, obviously, but right now it's not chaos. So sometimes it is nice just to kind of go in and just get a refresher of what you have, what else is out there. And a lot of times we do nothing. They're like, hey, I'm happy with what I got. I know what those commercials are talking about now, and we do nothing. And then we wait and see each other in the fall again.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no need to do something if you don't really need to do anything.
Yeah, I know, but it's, it's usually once they keep getting, more and more mail or more phone calls, they're like, so
what's going on?
We got to talk about this.
Yeah. And we want to talk to folks that have questions. So
Absolutely.
Please know that the studio line is open for your calls. If you need some advice from Matt, ring us up at 885-4446, 885-4446. And you can also text at 887-9595. The text line is 887-9595. And Matt loves his texts, and we don't want to put him in competition with the garden doctor. But the garden doctor gets a lot of text messages, so let's see if we can get Matt's text messages up to the same level, 887-9595. Trying to make it happen for you, Matt.
I know. He's just more popular, I guess.
Oh, my goodness. Do you have any big plans for the weekend? Will you be out working in the lawn or the garden?
I will be at the baseball diamond.
Which one, where? What's happening with the boys?
In Beaver Dam, there's the Beaver Dam scrimmage. It's like our kickoff to our season.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, 7:30. I'll be there.
See, this is one of the great things about being on the live stream at Daily Dodge TV, because I think that was a little bit of sarcastic.
Yeah, it's
sarcasm, a sarcastic smile there.
Well, it's fun, like obviously when you're there, but you're like, oh, it's starting to get warm out, and you're like, so this is what I'm going to be doing a lot this summer.
Yeah, but what a wonderful thing to be doing. You're outside, beautiful ballpark. You get to see the kiddos have some fun, and we both know it goes by fast.
Yeah, no, it does. And, summer is still like, I don't mind it as much like for basketball season because it's cold outside.
Yeah.
But summer, this is when everyone's planning things. Wedding season's coming up.
Yep.
That's
the calendar starts to book up fast.
It does. There's not a lot of room. So, but no, it's fun, even though I'm sarcastic about it. But, we have 4 games Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So if you're at the ballpark, then at 7:30, you have 4 games to play. When does that end? When it's dark outside? That's a long day.
Yeah, I have to talk to the scheduler because we play like the first 2 games of the day and then the last 2 games.
Okay.
So there's a long time in between.
Wow, you better talk to that schedule and tighten up those plans a little bit. This is happening tomorrow morning, Matt.
Yeah, I have no pull, so but it's worth a shot. Hopefully they're listening.
I hope so. Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team with us today for Senior Solutions. We hit the air every Friday at 11:10, and this is time for you to learn about the ins and outs of Medicare, how you can properly plan for retirement, and also that long-term planning when it comes to long-term care. That is really crucial when it comes to end of life and things that people will be dealing with. Very important to be prepared ahead of time, because you can't really do that when you're already in the moment.
Absolutely. And we get a lot of calls, people in their late 70s, early 80s that they're in this situation. It's happening, somewhat soon within the next couple of years, and they ask about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, health based, because it has the life insurance chassis basically. But the reason why the market went to that was because, the older policies, you'd sign up and you'd pay X amount of dollars a month. And if you didn't use it, it's gone.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it gets expensive, but that's the old way. The new way, they kind of made it like with a life insurance chassis where it builds cash value and you get, a death benefit. So it's a tax-free death benefit that goes to your beneficiaries if you never go to the nursing home.
Okay.
And then what about people that come in, in their 40s and 50s and they can't health qualify?
Okay.
What do we do now?
What do you do in that type of a situation?
I thought you'd never ask.
You tell, Matt.
Well, there's different situations like, we can safeguard money, where we put it aside. We could also put money into annuity where they have like different variables where we can add riders to it to, have some long-term care coverage on it where they will multiply or double your monthly payment, if you can't do 2 of the 6 daily living activities.
What are some of the daily living activities that we have to be able to do?
Put me on the spot here.
I know.
Eating, dressing, bathing.
Basic things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so health insurance does not cover any of that.
All right.
Because people get that confused with home health care.
Oh, okay. I can understand why.
Yep. So home health care is a skilled nurse is coming in, administering medications, checking blood pressures, doing medical stuff.
Okay.
Even rehabs, not rehabs, physical therapies, can be done at the home. Doctor ordered.
Okay.
So that's huge. Now, the daily living activity, eating, dressing, bathing, custodial care, that is done with our friends at Visiting Angels.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Thompsons there. Yeah, so that falls under that type of an umbrella.
Yes.
We should get Matthew back on the show, too.
Absolutely. Okay. And our long-term care would cover that.
Okay.
And Matthew talked about how, they do work with long-term care companies, for what they do, their services. So everyone just thinks long-term care is full-time nursing home.
Yeah.
And it's not always that.
Okay.
Another big thing with long-term care is, and you should be aware of this if you do have long-term care, there's a 90-day waiting period.
Holy cow. How come?
It's just kind of like all the policies do it.
Okay.
So
what happens during that 90-day waiting period?
You're paying.
Oh.
Yes.
So I'm paying, but I'm waiting.
Yeah, I know. Why do I have
I'm paying
this?
to wait.
Well, just because the 2 of the 6 daily living activities, a lot can change.
That's true.
Like obviously if you can't get dressed or, cook yourself dinner and stuff, it could be because you're just rehabbing from a surgery. So it doesn't mean that like once we turn on the long-term care, it's like, oh, that's all I get. We can start it, stop it, and
it's flexible. Sounds
absolutely.
Like. Okay.
So that's why it's got to make sense though. It's not right for everyone. Like if the main thing for long-term care obviously is asset protection.
Right.
And everyone wants to protect their assets.
Oh my goodness. Yes, that's what we're working for all of our life.
Yes, but we can't live in fear of the nursing home either. We don't have the crystal ball.
No.
So that's why it's, this isn't a fear-monger thing. We will discuss it, and we will document it saying, yep, we talked about it, they do not want to go with it at this time. And that's fine, But if, there's, if you're renting, out of an apartment, you don't really have a lot of assets, it doesn't take long, to go through your money. Why would we pay these expensive premiums for what?
Right. That's a good point.
I'd rather have the money now. Things, it's tough nowadays, and
really
things are
is.
expensive. So it has to make sense. We will talk about it. That doesn't mean we do anything because it has to make sense. And that's the biggest factor of it, so it's not for everyone at all.
And again, another example of why it's so important, and it makes all of the sense to start the process with that educational component that you always talk about being so important, and that's how the process starts for folks at Heiar Insurance.
Yep, and that's why we do our complimentary consultations. We come in, and not a lot gets done. Some people are like, "So that's it," because
Did we do anything?
Yep, I mean, and we don't do anything. We discuss, your goals, your wants, what makes you tick. What's your retirement going to look like? And it's all the non-financial questions that help us build these plans.
I like that. And a great way for you to get to know people, too.
Absolutely.
Asking all those questions. This is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands. This is Senior Solutions with your Heiar Insurance team. Matt Heiar with us here today in the Slumberland Furniture Studios. I'm Amy Hudson. Of course, the phones are open for your questions. If you need some advice, give us a call at 885-4446, and you can also text at 887-9595. So what types of things happened at the Heiar Insurance office this past week?
Well, just stemming off that scam thing, and this isn't a scam, but people, they're getting these mailers, and they're like, hey, do you know anything about this? And this is the first time I've ever seen it. It was med flight and ambulance insurance.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Wouldn't
no.
that be covered under like an already existing type of insurance, or this is completely separate? Because med flights, ambulance rides, ridiculously expensive.
Very expensive. And absolutely, you're correct.
Okay.
So really confused by this. But if you want to go get dinner, But
so they're having like a seminar or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And they just talk about that. I guess I don't know a lot of the ins and outs of it, but I said your policy covers all of this.
So is this a new thing, like a separate specialty area? What would you compare it to? Is there anything to compare it to?
So kind of like these indemnity products where like, you go to the hospital, we give you $100.
Okay.
Like a reimbursement almost.
For going to the hospital?
Yeah. So there is like supplements you can add to your health insurance where they help with medical bills and stuff. But I've had a lot of complaints with those.
Oh.
You basically have to cut your arm off and send it to them and say, yeah, this is what happened. And it's very frustrating. So, and they seem very appealing, but it's contractual language. It's fine print.
Hard to understand.
Yes. And so that just scares me. And, it's buyer beware. That doesn't mean it might not be right for some people, but just from the pamphlet I was looking at, there's a lot of gray areas, open-ended, a little confusing. And I almost want to be a fly on the wall.
I was honestly just thinking, Matt, you should go hear the presentation and ask some really tough questions to figure out what those gaps are, what the loopholes are. Did you have something sent to you, or did you have some of your clients call or bring this information in? Because you tell people to do that.
Yeah, one of my clients brought it in, which I always tell people to bring stuff in, just we'll talk it over and, see if it's right for you. But I just don't see that being a big problem, especially with our clients with, some of the policies they have that they're covered with that. But yeah, it's never ending. But like I've done seminars before, and on this, a lot of the flyers, it says like, oh, this is made for the public, not for financial professionals and other agents. So I don't want to be that person going in and be like raising my hand 12 times, be like, well, actually,
Would you be an agitator?
That's just not my style. It's
no, not at all.
But you just want people to be aware of this. And I don't know if it's really cheap, if it's really expensive, if there's, contracts, because contracts scare me. Because that means you're locked into something that you signed on the dotted line for. And
it will be difficult to get out of it, if at all.
There's always fine print. And that's why, yes, before you do it, consult, your insurance agent, family, friends, or other people that are on it, not the person giving the presentation.
Yeah, I think you should go.
Yeah, no.
Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team in the Slumberland Furniture Studios with us today and in the Daily Dodge TV studios, streaming live at dailydodge.com. This is Senior Solutions on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Certainly reach out with a call if you have a question or you need some advice. Phone lines open for you at 885-4446, and you can also text at 887-9595.
I just had a celebrity text message, so I didn't know.
Ooh,
It was
okay.
like, how is that possible?
I don't know. How is that possible? Who's the celebrity? Hang on. Let me see this.
Well, you're in the text.
Oh, it's from you. I didn't have my glasses on. Hello, Sandy. And yes, you can certainly give us a call, 885-4446, 885-4446. And text line open also at 887-9595. See, I know you always tell me that, oh, I mean, you're not at that age yet. You don't really need to start worrying about all this stuff. I'm a little bit of a worrier, and I can't read anything without my reading glasses these days, Matt.
Well,
I know.
you should not be excited to get to Medicare because the government does not care about your eyes, ears, or teeth.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. We need all those things. And
Absolutely.
if they don't function properly, we might need some help with those things.
Yeah, it's just dental is very, very scarce. Glasses, contacts, LASIK and stuff like that, not covered. And then hearing aids.
That is really unfortunate. Is there anything in motion to try to change that?
I'm sure it's in the works, but it's, everything just is slow. So that's why these, a lot of the Advantage plans say they have those benefits.
Yeah, to help with those types of things.
Absolutely. And that's another thing where fine print, we want to make sure, my dentist accepts this. I can still go to my, eye doctor, and so that's why just doing the research with that is huge. And that's why, I always promote, being an educated buyer. You should go talk to 2-3 people before you make decisions.
Yeah, do your homework, shop around.
Absolutely.
It's good to know what your options are. And that helps you make the best decision for yourself.
Yeah, because it's the same price wherever you go. It's the same products, there's not like secret plans out there, but essentially it's who you want to work with.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's nice working with a Heiar Insurance team because you're all so very knowledgeable and you really care about your friends and neighbors throughout Dodge County.
Oh, yeah. And that's why people always say, like, well, I got my guy or I got my girl, whether it's
I don't have a guy.
Whether it's for retirement, or, insurance. And it's like, well, it's always we. I mean, we have a team.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
And that team that is immediately in the Heiar Insurance office, when we talk about our MVP Jill on the Heiar Insurance team, most often she's the person taking the call, helping with the appointments. Carrie Kasten, who we had on Senior Solutions with us last week, also another part of that immediate team in the Heiar Insurance office. And then you had mentioned Rob Mielek, estate planning attorney. Jorge, you have a great group of experts that are on your team helping your clients.
Well, and we're just always bouncing things off of each other, so then everyone's aware of, what's going on, what our plans are and stuff, and it's all documented. So we all can answer questions for you, and just having that team is because, yes, if I'm not at work that day, that doesn't mean we'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah, the world doesn't stop at Heiar Insurance just because Matt is out at a baseball game or playing disc golf.
I haven't played disc golf since, wow.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to check that out.
You've never been to Crystal Lake?
I have been to Crystal Lake.
They have a disc golf or frolf. We call it frolf.
Okay, maybe we'll have to go out there sometime.
Yeah.
We can't do the show and play disc golf at the same time.
That'd be a little difficult.
It would be a little difficult, but knowing Ninja and Jeff Hall, they could probably rig up some wireless mics and we can make it happen.
Let's do it. I'll try it. I'll probably blow my shoulder out.
Don't do that. Do you have insurance for that? Just kidding. What is the number at the Heiar Insurance for folks to set an appointment? You had shared that those consultations complimentary, to come in and have that first conversation.
Absolutely. It's 920-887-0580.
I was over in your neck of the woods in the Heritage Mall just last night. We have a fancy schmancy evening tomorrow. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards will be happening in Madison. I have plenty of shoes. But I thought, well, why not just go see if I can find a different pair of shoes? So I was over at the Heritage Mall shopping. I was like, wow, there was a huge sale, buy one, get one. ended up picking two pairs that weren't a part of that sale. I just should have gone to where our kids love to go, to the Five Below, and checked out the wall of candy and gotten some sweet treats. So yeah,
That Five Below, my kids just love that candy.
they probably love to come visit you at work.
Oh yes.
They're at that age. Yeah, you should head over there later after you wrap things up at the office, so you can get some good things for the softball, the baseball games tomorrow with the boys.
Yes. Well, I've been to Dunham's many times lately now, so because the season is here. But no, it's exciting, and as much as sarcastic as I could be, it's fun when you're in the moment, and the kids are having fun, meeting new friends. We're meeting parents that are
really
in the
nice.
same situation as us.
Yep, it's a whole different social get together when you do things like that.
Like-minded people.
Yeah. Do you get revved up? Are you a revved up parent when you're at a sporting event for the kids? Because I just found my voice last wrestling season, because, it took me basically a whole season to understand what was going on. And then I didn't know, what really I should be saying. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was just like overtaken, one day at a tournament. I was like, I found my mom wrestling voice. Do you have that type of a voice when your boys are playing a sport?
I'm more of calming my wife down, I was like, they're 8 years old, so let's just, there's another game, and yeah, she's very competitive, and and it's great. It's competitive nature, but at the same time, they're 8 years old.
Yeah. Perspective.
Yes.
It's about perspective and taking down that tone, that volume.
Oh, yes.
Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team on the air with us today for Senior Solutions. Of course, the phone lines are open for your questions. If you need some advice, certainly give us a call at 885-4446. And you can also text at 887-9595. We hit the air every Friday at 11:10. With Senior Solutions, and this is the time where we help you with all the things that we've been talking about, just regarding different types of insurances as you plan, also the magical journey of Medicare, retirement planning. There are so many things that you help people with at Heiar Insurance.
Yeah, it's been a week.
How so? It sounds like there's a story behind that.
Well, we've been doing quite a few rollovers.
Okay.
And so basically, when it's a retirement account, like through your company, and there's usually a custodian that holds it, and we have to make the call.
Okay.
So
how does that call go?
We call them and say, hey, we'd like to roll this over to our IRA that we opened. Okay. And then they transfer you to a retention line. And, they're like, so what are you going to do with this? It's taxable if you take it out, and it's like, okay, yep, we know that, and it's just on, and, and then they transfer us somewhere else. And then by the end of it, they're like, well, you have to do that online. It's like,
no way. Oh my goodness. So you and the Heiar Insurance team have to deal with things like that, those of us that are kind of average Joes, we have that happen to us. So thanks for sharing that.
I have to be present with you.
Okay.
So it's just, we call in, and I'm like, you don't want to waste your client's time, and then they're like, oh, we'll mail you the paperwork. And it's like, okay, sounds good, and every experience is different, and every company has their protocols, but it's just like, tell us what to do, but actually, with the 401ks, so at 401k means, it's a retirement account through your employer, they match, you match, but every time we touch it, it's taxable.
Every time. Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Okay.
So that's where, some people worked at 3 different jobs and they have just 3 going, and they just kind of leave them. Well, the thing is, it's really great to consolidate those into an IRA, basically because you're taking it away. You can have someone locally, work with it. And also RMDs.
What's an RMD?
It's required minimum distributions.
Okay.
So at age 73, they say Uncle Sam says you got to start taking some of that money out.
Whether you want to or not.
Oh, yeah, we have
to. It has to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
If we don't.
I don't like being bossed around or told what to do, Matt.
Well,
doesn't matter, does it?
No, that's the world we live in. But if you have all these separate accounts all over the place, because what they do is they take all your money that Uncle Sam hasn't seen yet.
Okay.
And it's a percentage.
All right.
That you have to pay.
Okay.
But if you don't consolidate and have into one account, we have to contact each of those companies and get that processed. And then from 73 on, every year we have to do it.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a big hassle.
It is.
And are there penalties if we don't do that on time every year? How does that work?
Great question. Yes, so there's an excess tax. So basically, say you have to take out $10,000. If you do not do it, there's a 50% excess tax.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's substantial.
So now we only have $5,000. Then we have to pay taxes on it. So just say another 20%. So that's
It's
another
like a
$2,000.
not so fun game of Monopoly.
So the $10,000 that you took out, you potentially might get $3,000. We have to make sure we're keeping track of our RMDs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big loss just when you serve it up like that.
Yeah, and that's why we have to be aware of it, but you don't have to worry about that stuff. This isn't trying to fear monger, but just let us worry about it, because then I always tell people, you can yell at me, if it's wrong.
You'll be the sounding board. So when you talk about rolling over an existing 401k, you leave an employee, you want to roll that over, and you talked about those tax implications. It's going to be taxed every time we touch those dollars in the 401k. Mm-hmm. Is it taxed differently if you roll it over as opposed to just taking it all out and doing whatever you want to do with that money, or is it taxed the same either way?
So if you roll it over to an IRA, mm-hmm. and you didn't touch the money,
okay,
no taxes.
All right, got
Rolls over. But if you just get a lump sum, that's going to be a big taxable year.
Okay.
And your accountant's probably not going to be too happy.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, and that's the thing. We have to be thoughtful with how we take this money out. Mm-hmm. So accountant is our best friend in retirement.
And bringing all those players to the table when you're at that point to start planning for retirement, that's also important and essential.
Absolutely. And the golden age is 59 and a half.
Why is that the golden age?
Because that's when we can actually start touching our IRAs without a 10% excess penalty.
59 and a half.
Yes.
I have 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. So, a lot of people think, I can't touch my 401k till I leave my employer. It's not technically true.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's good to know.
Yeah, because you can do some in-service. It's called an in-service request. And basically what it is you can take some of your money out and put it into an IRA once we're past that golden age.
Okay.
Like say you're going to work another 5 years. You're 60 years old. You want to work another 5 years. You could actually start putting some of that money into an IRA.
Okay.
And have someone managing it, but still contribute to your 401k.
That's nice to be able to do that.
But a lot of people don't know about in-services. They just always hear, once I leave, yes, I got to move it, and then I can have access to it. And there is ways.
Well, and you don't know what you don't know. And it's so important, to have that complimentary consultation to start this conversation so you do understand what the options are before you're already in a situation or then it becomes too late to do anything about.
Absolutely. And that's why I always tell people to bring statements in because, you get statements every quarter, mm-hmm. right? And everyone does. And they check the amount and throw it away, but what does a lot of that stuff mean? So we'll go through and we'll explain, what you're invested in, mm-hmm. why you're invested in that, what are your fees?
Yeah.
And they do hide fees.
No way.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not completely transparent.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm.
Yes. And we saw that actually. But no, it's, and we want you to understand what's going on, and mm-hmm. that's huge. And some people are like, nope, don't care. All right. I'll yell at you if it's wrong or, and that's fine too. But, there are people that are like, well, yes, this is my life savings. I want to know what's happening to it, where it's going.
Absolutely.
And there should be a strategy and a plan for it.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of what you help people with.
Yeah.
What is the number at the Heiar Insurance office?
Our number, Jill is standing by.
Hello, MVP Jill.
She said she was going to try to watch, so.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
920-887-0580.
And the office is over in the Heritage Mall in
Mm-hmm.
Beaver Dam. You're always happy to take those calls, of course, set those appointments, and people are also welcome to pop in over to the office. I did ask Carrie about all the spiffiness that you guys have been doing in the office. So everything is spiffed up, ready to go. Sandy and I can start planning the party.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and next week,
yes,
you had shared that Sandy And a celebrity will be joining us here on Hometown Today.
Yes.
Or not Hometown Today, Senior Solutions. That's funny. I think that's the first time I've ever said the wrong thing for the show. Yeah, This is Senior Solutions. Sandy and the celebrity joining us next Friday. Can you share any details about that? You will not be here. You'll be on holiday, hopefully enjoying some sun and sand.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know a lot about this person. That's why I was hoping my mom would call in. But yes, she will have a guest, and I don't know exactly the guest. It's a surprise.
Okay.
Her name is Stacy.
Okay.
That's all until if my mom is listening to call in, because she met this Stacy and worked with her, and she asked her to come on the radio show, and she said absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. We'll miss you, of course, but we look forward to having your mom back on Senior Solutions and meeting Stacy.
I wonder if my mom knows about this.
Sandy, you will be in the Daily Dodge TV studios next week, in addition to being on 95.3. Your mom has nothing to worry about. She is one of the most put together, fashion forward people I have ever met. It's fantastic. So now people can finally see the awesome shoes that I'm always talking about. We'll have to get a good shoe angle. So Ninja, start brainstorming about that. We'll need a good shoe angle in the Daily Dodge TV studio. And then she has way cooler glasses than I do too.
Yeah.
So, I know. It's always a lot of fun.
So we have that to look forward to.
Yes, absolutely. And we have about 6 minutes left in the show. So what else would you like to cover today on Senior Solutions?
I was listening this morning. So Wade is in Punta Cana.
Yeah, with Sherry and a lot of our fans. They all made the trek together. Sierra is there too at the Hard Rock Resort and Casino, and having a great time. Folks should check out the pictures on our WBEV Facebook page. It's gorgeous, and they look sun-kissed and beautiful. It just looks like an amazing holiday, and I'm a big foodie, so it's been fun to hear about all the food that they've been enjoying and see some of the pictures. Looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why we're not doing Senior Solutions there, Matt.
We didn't get the invite.
I know. Next year, hopefully. Yeah. I know. I don't know if we'd actually get any work done though. If we would be in that type of a location.
I'd give it a shot, but no, it was because Wade was just like yelling across the room, like, yeah, Sierra. And I heard her kind of talk. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, where are and I did not know they were there.
Yeah, they look great. Like they're really enjoying themselves. There's so much to do, so many pools. I heard that Sierra really enjoyed a lot of time in the swim out bar pool, even while it was raining. They were getting a little bit of rain today. It's 80 degrees. It's a totally different 80 degrees. I'm just pleased that we're going to hit almost 70 here in Dodge County today.
Yeah, sign me up. It's turning. Finally we're getting out of it, but it still gets a little cold at night.
It really does. But soon we'll be complaining about the humidity, and we'll have everything closed up and be comfy cozy in the central air.
It's only natural for us.
Oh my goodness. Matt Heiar with your Heiar insurance team in the Slumberland Furniture Studios and the Daily Dodge TV studios today for Senior Solutions. Make sure that you reach out and set your appointment, whether it's that first complimentary consultation with the Heiar insurance team, or going in to follow up on something, or take a look at what you currently have in place.
Absolutely. And that's what everyone needs. They need a strategy and they need an income plan. And that's a big deal when it comes to retirement. And yes, it's going to keep changing, but that's where we're just guides, and we just guide you through it and educate you on, what our options are. And, you ultimately make the decision. And that's what I tell people. You write the book. We're just helping you.
And it's nice to know that you are helping people along the way. You really do, a stellar job of keeping up to date on everything that, changes. I know that you have to do that. I've heard about the insurance commissioner because, that's a thing too. But you guys are really always on top of all of the changes that are happening throughout the industry and taking the time to really educate the people that you work with. And that is one of the most important parts of the process.
Yep, just knowing what we're doing, and there's some people that refuse to, they do not want to know it. They're like, yep, I trust you. And it's like, that makes me feel good. But at the same time, I still want you to know what's going on here.
Yeah, you have to make sure that someone is properly informed and that they actually understand.
Yes.
Because that's the key. You don't want to miscommunicate anything or mispronounce anything.
Yeah.
Miscommunicate anything. It's important, that transparency we were talking about earlier in the show. And I shouldn't have even said the word mispronounce because now I'm mispronouncing everything.
Yeah, but you're right. Transparency. That's
Yes,
huge. I
it
mean,
really
and
is.
it's got to be on both sides, and that's a big thing when it comes to retirement and just having your team behind you. And that's why, we would love to introduce you to our team and see what you think.
Yeah. Share the number at the Heiar Insurance office for folks so they can call and reach out, set those appointments. And, they're also welcome to pop over to the office in the Heritage Mall.
Yep, 920-887-0580.
Any parting words before we officially wrap the show for today? Anything going on with your weekend aside from a day long at the ball field tomorrow?
One of our friends is having a Kentucky Derby party.
Oh my goodness. Has your wife made a fancy hat?
We're coming right from the baseball game, so
Okay.
I don't think I'll be dressing up, but I'll be wearing a baseball hat.
And looking forward to a mint julep.
Yes. Oh, they're gonna have those. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that, I guess. I never thought of that.
Okay, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards tomorrow night with our team here and our teams from Madison and Milwaukee. It'll be a good time on the far west side of Madison. And then I just want to get out and play in the dirt on Sunday. I want to get out and work in the garden. So big, exciting plans.
Get those allergies going. As long as it's
right.
not windy. It's been windy every day. See, we're complaining again.
I know we shouldn't do that. You have a great weekend, and I look forward to welcoming your mom Sandy and the celebrity Stacy onto the show Senior Solutions next Friday.
All right.
All right. This has been a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands.
Broadcasting